All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best podcast, talking about everything new with a U. That is New Metal and New Metal adjacency. I am one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horskow. With me, I have my partner in crime, my road warrior buddy. We're still bummed about the Limp Bizkit shows, the notorious TIM, Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Fantastic. And with us, we have the one and only, or one of multiple, but the public-facing face of r/New Metal, Mr. Shawn Robbins. Shawn, thanks for joining us.
Tim J, glad to be back.
We are glad to have you again. So for the topic of this episode, Reddit just released, New Metal Reddit just released their 100 essential New Metal songs. So we invited Shawn on because we're going to talk and give our hot takes. So with that being said, I need to give this disclaimer. We're not gatekeeping. We're not saying anybody's opinion is wrong. Tim and I have been drinking, and we want to talk about the list. And from an older fan perspective, as there have been multiple polls on the site which show that Tim and I are definitely throwing off the mean age by a factor of 10, if not 15. We just want to discuss what other people are thinking. So no, I'm not shitting on your taste. We're not making fun of your taste, and we're not gatekeeping, trying to say get out because we're old and we know what we're talking about. This isn't 80s metal. That being said, I think let's go for it. So how do you gents want to do this? You want to go from the bottom up or the top down?
Yeah, we can't put number one out at first, can we?
Let's go from the bottom up. We'll go from the bottom up.
Then people are going to be like, oh, that's all I wanted to hear. Fuck this episode.
Yeah.
You know? It is interesting. Number one is very interesting, though. I will say that.
Yeah, well, I would say there's really some interesting shit in the bottom 20 or 30. Do you want to do them like groups of 10, Shawn? You think that makes the most sense? Like counting backwards?
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right,
cool.
All right, so I'll rattle them off and then we give some chat. So from 100, we have Korn right now. 99 is Ultra Spank's Push. 98, Static X, The Only. 97, Spineshank, The Height of Callousness. 96, Snot. 95, Reveille, What You Got. 94, Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name. 93 is Primer 55's Loose. 92 is Papa Roach and Blood Brothers. And 91 is Nothing Face with Ether. Tim, thoughts?
You already know I'm going to say right away. Number 94, it's not a new metal song. Stop it.
There was a whole conversation with this, right, Shawn?
Stop the nonsense.
Right?
You think that there was the comments on there where I knew someone was going to call it out. And I made kind of a command decision to go like, it's not a new metal song, but it was voted by the community. It has the DNA of new metal in it. And it influenced the movement. So it was one of those things where like if someone does a Stuck Mojo or a Downset song or whatever, it could kind of like toes the line. So it's like, fuck it, we'll put it on there. It doesn't feel good, but the people want it's the people in our subreddit that voted for it. So a part of me had to like just bite the bullet and be like, if this was a playlist, like we put it on a playlist, it doesn't feel out of place.
Right,
it doesn't
right.
belong there as a source of the genre. But if I'm listening to all these songs and I get to 100, that song doesn't feel like it doesn't belong.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to complain. I just love when people get really butthurt about it, and I'm like, not a new metal.
There are multiple new metal Facebook groups where every time they post a picture of Rage Against the Machine, the first 5 posts is always someone saying, not new, not new, not new.
Yeah.
Just pissed off about it. When I look at this chunk of 10, obviously some good picks in there, right? Like Primer 55 definitely needs to be in there. Loose. Reveille definitely needs to be on this list. Is this the only Ultra Spank song, Shawn?
Yes, it is.
That's a fucking
I put up
travesty.
And it's just, yeah. I don't know if it's my favorite song. I don't know if it's their quote best song, but I'm so glad Ultra Spank's on there.
Yeah, we were just talking to Jordan for the Breathing Process, and he actually threw a question back at Tim and I and said, what's the one new metal band that you wish had gotten bigger? And that was my pick, Ultra Spank, because his voice is unreal.
100%. Yeah.
Great band. That's definitely a band that a lot of people are just like, who?
Yeah.
Like, look into the back pages of this. You know what I mean?
There's a reference you could be making there, Tim, with new metal back pages that.
Yeah. But like, and like me and Jay talked about on the way to Limp Bizkit yesterday, like, I think Holiday made one of the greatest points, and this list pretty much makes it a solid point. Like, a lot of people like only focus on Slipknot, Korn, and Limp Bizkit when you should be looking into the other bands. You know what I mean? So like the Woody, I don't remember exactly what he said, but you could definitely tell in this list that it goes off of a lot of what he's trying to say, where like people don't do. But I mean, there is some sleepers on here that I'm very surprised to see. So,
I mean, I said to Tim yesterday, Shawn, that that Nothing Face Violence album, I had never heard that until we did the deep dive with Jordan from Zone Zero, who's definitely going to be listening to this and go, "You motherfuckers, when are you going to release that episode? It's coming, dude. It's coming." But I told Tim, I said, I go back to that album more than I really thought I ever would. That's one of those things that I came across. I'm like, God damn, this is a good album. This is a good album. And I've said it before when we did
all those Nothing Face. There's a rawness to them that you really can't find in some other nu metal albums.
No, they have a very unique sound. And I said this the last time we did the top 100 albums. I'm going to say this again. It is a capital fucking crime that Snot is down at 96. Capital crime. This is, if there's one flag I wave, it's that one. But otherwise, it's a pretty good list. I mean, Reveille definitely deserves to be on there. I think they were a band that, they were young, right? They were like all 18 or something like that, 19 when that band started. They were talented, but I think they got hung out too far into the tail of nu metal when things were starting to change.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that? Static X, The Only. Tim, I know you're a Static X fan. Does that song deserve to be on the list?
It's a great track, but I mean, I could think of a few more that are better. But you're also got to realize there's other Static X songs in here. So
yeah,
it's a great track though.
Let me ask you this, Shawn. Was there any picks that you saw when you were doing this list where you were like, I can't believe this fucking made this list? Like, I want to swallow my own tongue. I can't believe this.
I mean, besides Rage, I mean, spoilers ahead, but Trapped Headstrong kind of made me go like, damn it.
Yeah, right.
that it. Come on, like, and
this
then
asshole.
This well, and I even remember when the song came out, I was just kind of like, it was like, all right, that's a song. I wasn't here nor there about it. I saw them like in concert with like Strata and some other bands too. So it was something that was just kind of like, all right, that happened. It was here nor there about it. But to have it on the list, I was just kind of like,
yeah.
I think that's it. I think that was probably the only one. The other ones that made it were as it started, like the bottom 50 was where I was the most happiest.
Okay.
The number one made me very surprised and happy.
Yeah.
It was an upset, but yeah, I wouldn't say there was a whole lot. I would say Rage and Trapped were the only ones where I was just kind of like, all right, whatever.
What near misses did you see, Shawn? We were like, shit, just missed it.
That's a good question. Actually, you know what? Let me bring up the list that so our other mod Ergs, he organized this, and I commend him heavily for that, because he here we go. He put in a lot of work on that one.
I gotta tell you, Shawn, I got such a kick out of the guy who was kept complaining, where's the list, what you didn't see what you didn't see was that he was emailing our other mod like on an almost daily basis, and he was just kind of like, fucking, I don't know, all right, like, relax. So we kept on going, and he was the only one.
See what happens when you get this popular.
Like, just it's coming, all right, it's coming.
You should have put out a joke version, and like the top 100 songs, it was just like fucking like Godsmack and Creed all the way through.
Yeah,
with arms wide open, number one.
Just arms wide open. Here you go, fucker. Just like, here, go to bed, dummy. Yeah, let's see if I can find. But yeah, Yeah, there were some where I was just kind of like, ooh, so close. Like we I think we really hoped for a lot of more underground stuff to get on there. I actually, believe it or not, the when it got to the threes, I had to take off the heavy hitters like Slipknot, Korn, Linkin Park.
Yeah,
all those guys that were like already on there at least like 5 or 6 times. I had to go, nope, sorry. So I just kind of like made a command decision, took off the big 4, and I was like, all right, way better now. Now we can put on. Now I can put on, Spine Shank and Steppa and all these other guys that we that deserves to be on there.
Right.
I'm happy to hear that you did that too, because I think if you didn't, you would have, like you said, like you would have got a list where it's just like number 1 through 6 is Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, Korn. It's like, Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah. And we wanted to create kind of a playlist too, that people who visiting the subreddit be like, I don't know where to start. Where do you guys start? We could just send them that list and be like, here, hit shuffle and go nuts, or listen from top to bottom. But like, this will give us kind of a general, what we believe is a general overview of the genre.
Yeah.
It keeps people engaged as well that way, because if they see names that they know all like right away, they're kind of be like, oh, this list.
Yeah, right. And like Shawn said, if you put it on shuffle and it's basically turns out to be a Korn playlist, you're kind of like, well, this isn't really exciting. What am I listening to here?
Yeah. Yes, great decision on that.
Yeah. So while Shawn's pulling it up, so let's look at the next chunk. So this is 90 to 81. So working backwards, number 90 is Mushroom Head and Womp, which is the best fucking song title ever. Mushroom Head 1200 at 89. 88 is Mudvayne Not Falling. 87 is Il Nino, How Can I Live? 86 and 85 back to back, Head PE, Killing Time and Darky. 84 is Godsmack's Whatever. 83 is Flaw Payback. 82 is 5.0 Double X minus. And 81 is Factory 81 Nanu. Interesting symmetry there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I love the 2 Mushroom Head tracks right there, though.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Factory 81 isn't streaming right now.
You know what? That's another band where I saw them live a couple times. I thought they were pretty good. When Tim and I started doing the show, I went back and listened to the album. It's not bad. It's not bad. But the copy that I downloaded was it's straight trash. I got to find a better one because there's too much. Like, it's just not a good rip. But this chunk of the list is pretty good. I was surprised the Head PE showing up twice.
Yep. 2 good track. Like, you're talking about a self-titled and Broke.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think weren't we just talking about How Can I Live, Tim? Weren't we just talking about this? Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about If You Still Hate Me, but yeah, I mean, it's
Jordan's gonna come on and do the Il Nino deep dive with us. Jordan from the Breathing Process, because he's like, dude, I love that album. What's going? So yeah, but this is a decent chunk. Not Falling is the second Mudvayne album.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
and hot take here, that's their best record.
No.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's why I said hot take. That record is so good. Listen, man. I can. Never mind. I can't say that. I'll ruin it. Never mind. Sorry.
I will say this. I have never heard this album, but this is one of those. I have a list of albums that I've never heard that I want to do. Eventually, we're going to do an episode of, and 5.0 is on that list because I have never heard them. And the feedback I've read and the reviews I've read said it's pretty damn good, but I have never heard it. It was one of those Roadrunner late nu metal signings where I'm like, I should really buy the CD. And I never bought it. But I'm glad to see they made the list because it shows that, okay, so they've got some talent.
They were one of those late stage bands that, like, if they came out on an Ozfest lineup, they would have done great, and they would have put out a great second album, and they could have rode that wave. But yeah, this was kind of like I think Roadrunner just kind of was like, oh, we're moving to metalcore. Sorry. And
yeah. You just missed it.
Yeah, just missed it. Sorry,
like the guy with the dollar bill, the fisherman with the dollar bill on the reel, that commercial. Oh, just had it. Oh, you just had it. You almost had it.
Oh, too bad. Yeah.
Flaw showing up at 83 with Payback. I mean, fits. It fits, and it's in the right spot.
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
Godsmack's on there twice, and it's their two most nu metal songs. And I think like they're those new adjacent-ish post grunge bands, but whatever is one of those songs that like it fits on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always put Godsmack and Disturbed in the same bucket, right? They were proto. I hate to use this term, but there's no other term I can think of to say. They were proto butt rock, right? They were the beginnings of where the music trend went. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like a Breaking Benjamin.
Oh, that, by the way, The Diary of Jane is a great fucking album.
It is.
It is a great album. And they're from Wilkes-Barre, right?
Yeah.
I think they are. Yeah, they're from around here, which is kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay. So let's go to the next chunk. This is 80, counting down to 71. We have Evanescence, Going Under, Endo, Suffer, Dry Kill Logic, Nightmare. Dope at 77. We have Dope, Die Motherfucker Die. 76 is Crossbreed, Underlined. 75 is Chevelle, The Red. 74 is Trapped and Headstrong. 73 is System of a Down, Tim's favorite band, with BYOB. 72 is Stepa, Spaceships and Airplanes. And 71 is Soulfly, Bleed. So this is the first chunk of songs where there's no repeat. It's all singles. And I think this is where you're starting to get into the meat of the list. I mean, there's some really good picks on there. I mean, I'm personally not an Evanescence fan, but I think that they do deserve a spot on the list.
Yeah, it's a good track. I think Soulfly Bleed being this far up is crazy to me. I could have swore, like, thinking about this list, that would be in the top 20 at least. But hey, I mean, a lot of surprises coming up as well. So
yeah. Good pick with Dry Kill Logic. I don't know if I would go with Nightmare, if I would go with like Rot or something else. Crossbreed.
I'm pretty high up there, actually.
What'd you say, Shawn?
I want to say Rot's pretty high up there. Actually.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah. So I'm not looking at the higher end of the list, so I don't know.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the Dope track is this low as well. I was that's another track that people, if you say Dope, they're like, oh, Die Motherfucker Die. It's like, yeah.
That was a big song. That was a big song for, I remember when the Iraq War like kicked off.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That and Bodies was on Soldiers playlists, and as you know, as fucked up as it was, that they were just kind of like, they would put that on in the tank or the Hummer and blast it.
Just kind of wild.
Yeah. Bodies was on every action movie in like 2005.
Oh my God, it was every movie trailer. Yeah. I will say Crossbreed showing up on this list way higher than they probably should be, but they definitely deserve a spot. I've made this joke on the board that they, to me, are the apotheosis of everything nu metal all rolled into one picture, right? They're everything all rolled into one. I think Chevelle definitely deserves a spot. Again, they're not butt rock, but they were more what's the proto grunge new adjacent sort of stuff, I guess.
I always felt they were like, if Tool bored you should listen to Chevelle.
That's a great way to describe it. And you don't want to deal with Tool's insufferable fans because
you're just kind of like, my God, yeah. You're just kind of like, this is so boring. My Tool friend is annoying the shit out of me. I want to do something that has tenderness, but also gets aggressive. And Chevelle was kind of like where you wanted to go.
One of the other picks here I think is great is Endo, right? At 79. We have an episode coming up. AJ from Purity is going to come on, and we're going to dive into all those type of bands. So Endo, Finger 11, all the rock and grunge adjacent nu metal. He's apparently a big fan, but I checked out that album on his suggestion. I'm like, and this is pretty good. And Tim, you had it on the playlist yesterday too in the truck. It's good stuff. I really like it.
Yeah, that Fly Banger record's great too that he's talking about.
What's that?
The Fly Banger record. That's a great record.
I don't know. I can't get into that one for some reason.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
But Endo always felt like was the perfect soundtrack to like a motocross video game or like show, like videos. It just had the beats to it. To just like, you just put it in your headphones and you just go, rip up.
Yeah. Extreme sports. Yeah. That was their thing.
Skateboarding, BMX. Yeah, for sure. That's absolutely. Yeah. X Games soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Leave Us Alone. That's like that track is like you could see like MMA fighters coming out to that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right though. Speaking of Soulfly Bleed, that is kind of surprising because that I think is one of the better songs on that first album they did.
Yeah.
Because it's all downhill from there. Sorry, Max. Big fan. Love to have you on the show, but yeah, it's all downhill from there. And then
Steppa song. The Steppa song's great. And when we did the Steppa AMA recently with the lead singer, he revealed that song is about his brother who passed away in a car accident when he was young. So everyone who had no knowledge of kind of what any of these songs were even about, this album has just been kind of floating around the internet for like 20 years, 19 years. And there's very, very little interviews or correspondence with any of the band members because they got folded because the record label Interscope just went like, fuck you, and dropped it, never released it. And then so they got to kind of get some clarity on some of these songs. And that one was like, as soon as he revealed that, everyone was like, oh, fucking of course. And then,
yeah, they were a band I had never ever heard of until Orion sent it to us when we did an obscure nu metal episode, and that was one of the bands. And yeah, I read that whole like he was really active replying to questions, and I thought it was a good one. It was a good one. Tim, we should probably reach out.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, it's this is a good chunk of when you talk about a cross section. These 10 songs I think are a really healthy cross section of everything that nu metal was about.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's work our way backwards from number 70. So starting at number 70, we have a band I've never heard, Simon Says with Siphon. 69 is Seven Dust Denial. 68, Sepultura, Roots, Bloody Roots. I might take umbrage with this one. 67 is Linkin Park, Give Up. 66 is Limp Bizkit, Hot Dog. 65 and 64, 63, Korn, back to back. Somebody, Someone, Let's Get This Party Started, and Clown. 62 is Incubus with A Certain Shade of Green. And 61 is Head PE again with Bartender.
I'm surprised Bartender is that high up.
Really? That's a great song.
It's a great song, but it's there.
I meant it the other way around. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That low. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, that's one of them songs I expect to be way up in the 1 through 30 at least.
I put Killing for them. I thought Killing Time it's got fucking Surge on it and Morgan from Kitty, and it's just got that perfect vibe for them. So I was surprised that didn't make it.
I can see Bartender, like there's a catchy bounce riff in that, right? And then they did a video for it, and yeah, I get it.
What's up with Let's Get This Party Started? That is a trash song. I'm sorry.
Some of Korn's later oeuvre is less palatable than people like to look at some of their stuff with rose-colored glasses. I will say that.
Yeah.
People fucking love that song though. And I went back and I was like, what album is that off of? And I went back and I listened to it. And when he's saying the chorus, I'm like, I'm not into it for whatever reason. It seemed like it doesn't uppercut me like the Korn that I remember listening to does. Yeah. And I had that album. I bought that album in high school, and this is just around the time I was kind of weaning off them anyway. So, but yeah, I was like, but on the subreddit, when people kind of ask for, hey, what's some Korn songs that aren't singles that you could recommend? That is one of the songs that kind of constantly.
Huh.
Yeah,
it's very surprising.
Love the fact
Bloody Roots like this low, like wow.
Not even. I mean, see, this is another band where did we talk about this on New or Not New Sepultura? I know this is Ross Robinson had his fingers all over it. They did it at Indigo. This is after Korn self-titled. I have a very tough time putting Sepultura in this. I will steal your line. While I don't necessarily agree, I think if you put that song in a playlist, it sounds like it fits right in, and it by virtue of that, it makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
What is your thoughts on Denial, Tim being 69?
That is one of my favorite absolute favorite tracks by Seven Dust.
Me
But
too. Yes.
I mean, there's other songs by them that I'm trying not to go ahead and read the list because I want to be surprised. You know what I mean? But I'm assuming that something off of the first record is going to be a little higher up.
I don't remember, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm like really trying not to look.
So this is we have Limp Bizkit's first appearance on the list with Hot Dog, which I'm sorry, I fucking laugh every time I listen to that fucking song because nowadays you could not get away with that. Never in a million years.
Oh hell
They
no.
played it live. They played it live at Lollapalooza or that after party. But yeah, they've been playing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what the world needs right now is more Limp Bizkit, more irreverence, more just I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna give you the middle finger. Yeah. So when Tim and I were in the park, like I said, we met up with a bunch of younger guys and we were kind of heckling him. It was kind of funny. This one kid brought his own beer and the one guy with us was like, yo, show me your ID. You're definitely not old enough to have this beer. Like it was hysterical. But they were talking about like Korn being the best nu metal band of all time. And I was arguing with them like, no, it's fucking Limp Bizkit. It's Limp Bizkit. And here's why. I said, it's impossible to fake the anger after a couple of albums, after you see success, right? You can't be angry anymore, right? You can't be mad at your mom and dad. I said, Limp Bizkit was irreverent from day one. They had that personality that they carried through 5 albums, 6 albums that they never changed. And it's a giant middle finger to anybody and everyone. And they had fun with it. And they still got famous. So to me, that's the pinnacle right there.
Yeah, there are Monty Python. Then they were the ones that went out there, and some people were like, "Oh, I don't get it." You're just kind of like, "Fine, that's your problem." They did. The fact that they just came right back, and the people who have been listening to them for the past 20 some years are just kind of like, oh, "Fucking yeah, this is what we've been trying to tell you," and now you get it. Okay. So
yeah, like I had to admit to Jay, like I was mowing the lawn the other day and I listened to Chocolate Starfish. I was like, damn, you know what? This is a good fucking record. It like killed me. I had to say that because I always thought it was shit. But I guess now that I grew up a little bit, maybe
remind me when we're done recording because I don't want to say this on air, but we'll tell Shawn what we got coming up. We got a special one coming up. But yeah, that's a decent chunk. Now I got to listen to Bartender. You know, when certain shade of green, when someone mentions Incubus, that opening guitar riff is the first thing I hear in my head. Right? The yeah, because it's who'd have thought that the band with the fucking dreads and the bongos would have become a multi-million-dollar platinum recording artist, right? Like,
well, how much of that has to do with the singer, though?
Oh, Brandon, his buttery vocals. Yeah,
I think
I love it.
But I mean, even when they made the turn, right? Make Yourself is still a great album. What was after that? Morning View, great album. What's the one after that? Crow After Murder. A couple of good songs. Not as many.
Lost they lost the bassist. And they got the Roots guy to join. So their sound a little bit. And I think they wanted to go in a new direction anyway. This is funny. Like, I'm getting a message right now. And someone's sending me messages saying like, there's at least 100 violations happening right now from one of our members.
Yo, the other night you had that one thread that you locked. Shawn, I was laughing hysterically when the guy was trying to make the argument. He said, look, Slipknot doesn't need 9 members. They can get by with 7. And he's talking through. Tim, you got to go find. I'll send you a link. So the guy's talking. He's like, look, they don't need 9. They can get by with 7, right? They don't need the guys banging on kegs. And he's like writing a dissertation. Then he goes, actually, they don't even need 7. They can get by with 5 because the sampler guy doesn't do much. Like, and he talks himself into it being a one-man band. And there were people who legit got outraged. And they were like, the vitriol coming out of these people. They were so bad.
But he's kind of right, though.
but here's the thing. You could tell he did it as a conversation starter, but also a little bit tongue in cheek. But there were people who were legitimately mad, and then he kept poking back, and it was like, oh my God, like people don't get it. Like he was.
So he was shit posting.
Oh, he was totally. He was just like, here we go. Bam. And yeah, people were getting really emotional about it. And then he was having a blast. So
Yo, you
And
have to link
I
me
had
to
to go
this
in
now.
and, like, I had to lock it and be like, grow up. Fucking stop. Enough.
You had to lock it.
Oh, dude.
So
I
it's
saw
still
it.
accessible though.
It's viewable. You can't comment on it.
Oh, it's great,
But
dude.
dude, it was so funny.
But-
I was laughing because he literally writes a dissertation explaining his logic of walking Slipknot back from 9 people to a one man
like-
band.
He's like the dude with that meme floating around where it's like the dude laying on the bed and there's just like trash all around him. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Like that new picture that's been going around. That's that dude right there. Like
Yep.
fuck Slipknot. They don't need 9 people.
All right,
That's
let's take a whack at the last chunk of the bottom 50. So we're
All right.
gonna wait.
So you just before you move on to that, Simon Says, listen to Simon Says. They are not on Spotify or Apple Music. Siphon is the perfect track to listen to. It's on. You can check
What
it
does
out.
it sound like? Compare it, Shawn.
So I'll give you kind of like and Holiday Kirk will back me up on this because he's a super fan of these guys. Sacktown band, grew up listening to Far, Deftones, stuff like that. They decided to put out one of their first album. It sounded kind of radio rockish. It was the first album to most people is pretty boring. So then the label screwed them over. Didn't give them any promotion. Just was completely screwed them over. So the next album, they had a 2-album deal, I think, and then their second album, they were like, "Fuck you guys. We're gonna make the shit that we always wanted to make. We're not gonna listen to anyone who's trying to put us on the radio. We're not gonna listen to anyone who's trying to put us on MTV. We're going to make the album that we want." And they went out and they put out this fucking brutal, crazy album that is just like a huge middle finger to the establishment. I can't really compare it to anything. It's like if some people compare it, some people talk about like the Used and Glassjaw being nu metal-ish, and there's a little bit of truth to that, but that Simon Says record is them taking that feeling and just strapping rockets to it, just going
Okay.
shoving it up the establishment's ass, and it's great front to back. Just tells you
Check it out. Got to
Yeah,
download it.
I'm gonna check that out after this.
Yeah, I'll hit up SoulSeek right after this is over.
There you go.
All right, so the remainder of the bottom 50, we have from number 60 backwards. 60 is Godsmack, I Stand Alone. 59 is Disturbed, Stricken. 58, Deftones, Head Up. 57, Deftones again, Be Quiet and Drive. 56 is Crazy Town with Toxic. 54 is Cold Chambers, Sway. 55, I should say. 54 is 40 Below Summer, Step Into the Sideshow, Have Another Vodka J. 53 is 36 Crazy Fists with the Slit Wrist Theory. 52 is Taproot Poem, and 51 is Sweet Pea by System of a Down. Tim, thoughts on the Deftones?
Not surprised at all the Head Ups in here. You got the Max Singer in there, so I knew that was going to be in here. Be Quiet and Drive should be in the top 20 at least. I'm very surprised at that. The Cold Chamber track, see, I can't. It's hard to say a lot of things because then I'm going to be proven wrong when we get up to the other. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say that. The 36 track though, I'm surprised that people have that on here because that's like a deep cut song. Not a deep cut song, it's a deep cut record, if you know what I mean.
it is, yeah.
Like a lot of people don't even know that they have them records, which is really crazy to me because it's just like, just look, open the books a little bit, like I said, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people think that they started with the Roadrunner record, you know what I mean? Because Slit Wrist is on the record before that, right?
And the debut. Slit Wrist was on the debut album.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people think the third record is their first record and they don't even know about the other two, you know what I mean? Like them two records are nu metal records, and then when you get to the third one, it's nu metal, but it gets more into like the progressive side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they go pretty much metalcore after that. I think.
Never got into this band.
I hear crazy.
No, his voice, the vibrato in his voice, never. It just.
Really?
Yeah, he's see him being a polarizing voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
I with it, but like, yeah, that like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is like, I feel like this is the rush of nu metal where it's just kind of like, I don't know if I can jump onto that voice right now.
Didn't they just kick him out? The singer?
No. Did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they kicked him out.
Brock Lindo, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they kicked him out. It's crazy that you two guys hate his voice because they're one of my favorite bands ever. Just not even in nu metal.
I love his voice, but I understand why people don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not that I hate it. It's just it's very jarring to me when I listen to it because I'm not used to that trill, that vibrato in there.
Yeah. I think he's very talented.
Tim, I need you to go on your phone, go up to what's the thing you can order all sorts of shit delivered? They're based out of Philly. What's the name of that company? GoPuff.
GoPuff?
Yeah. Oh, how do you not get this reference? I need you to get vodka sent to my house because I'm almost out.
Oh.
I was like, where is this going?
Shit, I have a whole fucking gallon.
I'm almost down. But yeah, no, I don't mind 30 Crazy Fist. It's not bad, but his voice took a real long time for me to get used to, and I'm still not the biggest of fans.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, so it doesn't surprise me at all. System of a Down, you already know how I feel. I don't want to shit on them. I don't want people to hate me any more than they already do. Taproot's Poem, fucking great song.
Dude, that album, I went back and listened to that whole album not too long ago. It's a great album, and it holds up really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole screaming into the singing, into like the... it's hard to explain the way he does the vocals, but he does it perfectly.
The dynamics,
especially live, he kills it live too. Well, he did when that record came out, but I don't know about maybe now. But yeah, he killed it back then.
Shout out to Orion because I think I aggravated him. He built our playlist for the obscure nu metal, and I told him, I said, a lot of this stuff. And he did a fucking awesome job. That album, that episode comes out soon, I think, maybe October. But
soon
October. But one of the things I said was nu metal at a certain point, everybody starts to sound like either Taproot or Primer 55 to me. At a certain point, that's how they all started to sound.
Because the Deftones, Korn, melodic side started to merge together and become this kind of same thing. And then the hip hop rap aspect of it started to merge together. And yeah, I think that's when people were just kind of like, I think I'm done with this, and start to back away. And unfortunately, and I don't know how much of it was the band's fault as it was the record companies,
the labels. Yeah,
that's what people want to hear. So they started to kind of produce and gear that music toward that. And then when it started to drop off, they abandoned it. And all these bands were like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the first question I ask, what's his name, when he comes on, is like, how do you feel about how many bands just ripped you guys off?
Who?
Toomey.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Everybody stole their shit. I will say this, and I'm a big fan. Crazy Town, Toxic as the one song that made it. Kind of surprising because there are some better songs.
I'm actually glad Toxic made it and not Butterfly.
Butterfly's not indicative. Yeah.
What a great representation of their craft than Toxic. That was their first single that they were supposed to launch on. They were out before Linkin Park came out, so they already had that kind of dynamic anyway. Butterfly, I've talked to Holiday Kirk about this a lot. It is a nu metal song because it had the culture of nu metal embodied in it. Now it's more of a pop song. If you really want to get into the weeds, it's more of a pop song than anything, obviously. But when that song came out, it really showed the versatility of what this genre was about, and they were just having fun with it. But as far as people listening to this or looking at this list and going like, what should I listen to? Toxic being from Crazy Town. Good song.
Yeah, it's definitely more representative of them than Butterfly, because Butterfly is the outlier of that album. And to anyone in the sound of my voice or watching this video, if you have a ripped copy of Crazy Town, The Gift of Game that is not censored, please send it to me. On Spotify and YouTube, it's always the censored version. Even everything I find on SoulSeek is censored. And I remember the old one where it's not. So if I don't find one in the next 30 days, I'm going to have to go into the back basement, dig out my box of fucking CDs and actually pull it out so I can rip it myself.
I think I got it.
I have a hot take on Crazy Town, which I hope he doesn't get mad that I narc him out when I say this, but Jordan from Zone Zero says that Dark Horse is a better record than The Gift of Game.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I have to listen to it now.
I've never listened to Dark Horse. I've never even heard it. So I told him we're going to do an episode where Tim and I are going to listen fresh. Shawn, we'll have you on if we can line up calendars.
Sure.
Listen to it fresh, and then we'll have him on because he said, yo, that's the better album. And I said, well, you fucking crazy? They basically disappeared. He went, no, it's the better album. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got to hear it now.
What else do we have?
I've never heard it either.
Sweet Pea, Disturbed, Godsmack, that definitely deserves to be on the list. I Stand Alone. I can hear that chorus in my head. Shawn, I don't know if you watched the episode we just did with New or Not. We had Wojo from Forgiveness Denied and Before I Had Wings, and he's from Western Mass. It's Godsmack's neck of the woods, and Godsmack came up, and you could just see his face. He just gets aggravated. He's like, ugh. These guys and their Harleys and their do-rags and
tribal tattoos,
tribal tats.
That's the band where people think of the negative aspect of Slipknot. That's what they think of. They're like, oh yeah, they're like, no, it's not. We're not just Godsmack, okay?
Yeah, right. Okay, so now let's crack the top 50. So 50 backwards. 50 is Soulfly, Jump the Fuck Up with Corey Taylor. 49 is Soil with Halo. 48 and 47 are Slipknot back to back with Servicing and Spit It Out. 46 is Saliva with Click Click Boom. 45 Machine Head From This Day. Now we've got two sets of back to backs. Linkin Park first with Faint and Don't Stay. 42 is Limp Bizkit with Rollin' and then Pollution. Good picks. I think Soil definitely deserves a spot on this list, maybe a little higher than I would have necessarily put it. I might have put some of the other stuff below it higher. I think Tim would agree. He's a Machine Head fan. From This Day definitely deserves a spot on this list.
Definitely.
This was their first nu metal outing. Supercharger is the one we don't want to talk about. It's like the disappointing middle child who never failure to launch, right? Which I will actually take this moment right now to talk about. We have an upcoming series where we're going to do In Defense Of, and we have a actual Reddit poster coming on to defend Supercharger because he said, I don't understand why you and Tim already shit on it. Have you thought about doing an In Defense Of? And I said, we haven't, but now that you've mentioned it, we're going to schedule it. You're going to defend Supercharger. And then we have Orion coming on to defend Department 26. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting conversation. Tim, what are your thoughts?
Jump the Fuck Up. Great song. Everybody hates on that song for some reason. I have no clue why.
It's one of the only good songs on that album.
It's such a fun song.
I always hear people shit on that song.
Pain is my favorite from that album. But Jump the Fuck Up's always fun.
Is Pain the one with Grady and Chino?
And Chino, yeah.
They crushed that, yeah.
You obviously know that's my favorite track. With anything with Chino on it, I'm good. So, Pollution. The vocals in that song kind of drive me nuts, but it's a great track. I don't even remember what Faint and Don't Stay sound like. I don't know why I can't remember what they sound like.
We just did that Limp Bizkit, that Linkin Park episode.
That's the
Faint's a
crazy
sample
part.
that it starts out. That Faint's an amazing song. I had to go back and listen to Don't Stay because I did not remember it.
That's Meteora, right? That's the first track off Meteora, isn't it?
Yeah. It is,
okay. Now I remember. Click Click Boom. I know is one of them songs where it's every wrestler, you heard it in WWE constantly or whatever, but that's a great song, dude.
Oh, it's a fucking good song.
That's a great record, dude.
Let's take a minute to talk about how important nu metal was to wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Shawn, let me ask you, do you think nu metal gets the pop it does without the wrestling WCW WWE crossover?
Do I think it gets the what?
The pop, right? So there was the notoriety, right? Because if you think about it, Limp Bizkit shows up with Rollin' for The Undertaker, bodies hit the floor, click, boom, right? All this WCW, EW, ECW stuff, they start using nu metal, and nu metal got a second wind, if you think about it.
I think it was also, it nu metal was able to take the aggression of metal and package it in riffs that added a pop aspect to it. So you could have an intro song that was like, I feel, I want to feel hyped up, but I don't want to wait 20 minutes for the build up. I want it now. And then when you get those intros from a lot of these songs that were like, all about getting to that point, exactly. It gave that little pop that it needed. And a lot of those songs, I mean, for Drowning Pool was always on there. And
yep.
It was like they heard Pantera. They're like, can we get more of that? And then boom, nu metal showed.
More of that without the Confederate flags and the dime bag drunk out of his mind. Yeah.
Can we get something that we can? Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think that Soil track is good, right? Their best track, obviously. I think Saliva, Click and Boom. I agree with you, Tim, right? Funnily enough, when I met the wife, that was one of the things we kind of connected with in the Venn diagram of music. She was into like the Salivas, the Creeds, the Godsmacks, or whatever, and the Stain. She loved Stain. She had no idea there was a first album that was straight nu metal. I'm not talking Tormented. Nobody talks about Tormented. Get off it. But she had no idea like Dysfunction was what it was. And she's like, no, this is the same guy. I'm like, yeah, this is the same guy. But that's where we kind of connected, like Chevelle. She loves Chevelle. And then I introduced her to fucking Lamb of God, and it was all bets were off, right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking like New American Gospel, old school Lamb of God. She was like, how does this guy make this noise? I'm like, oh, he does. It's fucking amazing. I think this is a decent chunk. I think
I think this is probably the best chunk that in the list right now.
Yeah, there's some really, I mean, and I'm looking at the rest of the list. The songs are starting to get really, really good. But
I'm surprised that was so low, because that was the first Slipknot song I had heard.
Which one, Spit It Out?
Spit It Out was, yeah. But yeah, I think that was the only surprise from this one. Everything else was just like perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Great 10 right there. That Soil record is a record I think a lot of people don't really know of either. That's a good record as well.
Is that available on streaming?
It is, yeah. And then they're supposed to be putting out new stuff soon, I think.
You know who I had to struggle to find? That No One album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled to find that.
That's tough to find. Exactly. Yeah.
I had to go on to I found somebody finally on SoulSeek who had it. And it's not bad. All right, so let's go to the next chunk. So we're looking at this 40 to 31. So now Korn finally makes an appearance. So 40 and 39 is Korn, Trash, and Good God. 38 is El Nino, What Comes Around. 37 is Drowning Pool with Tear Away. 36 and 35, American Head Charge back-to-back, Just So You Know, and All Wrapped Up. 34 is System of a Down with Toxicity. 33 is I'm With Stupid by Static X. 32 is Eyeless by Slipknot, and 31 is Bullet with a Name by Nonpoint. Tim, thoughts?
I love Bullet with a Name. That record is one of the best records in nu metal, I think. The one before that as well is a top-notch record. I'm very happy to see them this high up. Or am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see that band this high up. I mean, even and I love Nonpoint, but even after interviewing him, I liked him maybe more because he's such a nice dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your guys' interview with Elias was a joy.
Yeah.
Oh, we had fun. Like he was having fun. We had fun with him. Like it was a good time. It really was.
Yeah.
We have, I think it's the next interview is Lyle from Pressure 4-5, and that was a fun one too. Like we went down the rabbit hole on that one. Like I told him, like, dude, I had never heard of your band. I actually probably made fun of it when we did the Ozfest album. That album is fucking great. Like it holds up really well.
Yeah. If you're listening, like if people like who listen to like Quicksand and Handsome and all those other bands, and then also kind of like nu metal at the same time, Pressure 4-5 was your band.
Yeah, they were right in that wheelhouse. Right.
You nailed that comparison, because me and Jay even said it. It's not even a new record. That's like a really well-written rock record to me.
Yeah. Really well done. I'm gonna say, you know, I'm the oldest guy on the show. One of the oldest constant posters on fucking the board. I think American Head Charge is way too high up. I do. I think they're a good band. I think they definitely had their moment, but I think this could have taken 2 ticks down. You could have thrown Ultra Spanker Snot up here. You could have thrown Incubus up here. You could have thrown even From This Day by Machine Head up here, right? Like, I think they're good, but, and again, it's my older tastes, right? Like the younger contributors and posters to the subreddit, they latched on to later stage stuff. Whereas I guess I'm a new metal traditionalist. I guess, is that even a fucking thing? Do we need to make those t-shirts? I guess we're gonna make those t-shirts.
Yeah.
By the way, Shawn, you need to send me your t-shirt size and your address. I'll send you a t-shirt in the mail.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I was handing them out at the Limp Bizkit show. And the one kid goes, "I'll take a medium," and I looked at him. I go, "Dude, in the 90s, everything was extra large. You're getting a fucking extra large." She's like, "Well, what do I do with this?" I'm like, "Wash it in hot, dry it on high. It'll shrink down to a small. You'll be fucking golden." He's like, "All right, cool."
You might swim in it.
Yeah, American Head Charge. Well, here's the thing with American Head Charge too, is that a lot of people come on and will be like, all right, I want to listen to something that sounds as much like Slipknot as possible. And there isn't a lot of options, but American Head Charge was that band that had a shit ton of members, a lot of instruments involved, and had that kind of just ugliness. American Head Charge is ugly music. And a lot of people can kind of gravitate toward that. They don't want something that's a little bit more polished and fun or any kind of stuff. They want a band to listen to in the car and for their passenger to look at them and be like, "Oh, what the hell?" And
yeah, like you want to pull up to a red light and the person next to you just look at you and go, "What the fuck is this?"
What the fuck is this?
See, but I would ask you this, Shawn. Do you think American Head Charge is a better representation of that specific niche, or would it be something like Down the Sun?
Yeah, I think they're both. Down the Sun more so, especially because
Shawn, it was Shawn's label.
Shawn involved with both bands, I think. So yeah, you kind of always had that with he's such a mastermind behind tone when it comes to bands, which is why when you're talking about that rant that guy did about the drummers and Slipknot, one of the comments was just kind of like, Shawn's the mastermind behind this band.
Yeah.
And not the drummer part, but like the essence of consistency and tone. And then when he got a hold of American Head Charge Down the Sun, he's like, "I like how you guys sound. I'm going to adjust you just a little bit to make sure that you maintain some consistency, because that is what your fans are going to expect, and that's what they expect from us." And then that's exactly what they did. And he understood exactly what these guys were about, and he held on to it. And whether or not the band continued with it, I didn't feel like they did. But that album, he knew what was special about American Head Charge, and he made sure that they owned it.
Yeah, I went back, and because after Holiday just praising that record, like I heard it before, but I went back to it a few weeks ago. It's a fucking great record.
Yeah, it's long, but yeah, it's a good record.
And that's War of Art, right?
Yeah,
it's War. Yeah, both of them.
Yo, shout out to Holiday, because that dude is a fucking lunatic. The one night, Shawn, we didn't. Our guest at that point hadn't confirmed, like he confirmed when he was MIA, so we didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, "Yo, Tim, who should we call to get him on?" I go, "Should we call Holiday?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "I'm not ready for Holiday's level of energy, because he's going to show up and he's going to be at 125 miles an hour and my head's just going to spin straight off." And I'm like, I feel you.
Yeah.
No, he's
great,
though.
That guy is a living, breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, don't take that the wrong way, Holiday.
Yeah, Holiday, we love you. We love you having a show.
That is as a complete compliment, but yeah, he is.
He is vibrating on a different frequency.
It's funny because the first time we had him on, like we didn't know what to expect, but when he got off, me and Jay look at each other, we're like, "That dude's great."
Yeah, he's nuts. I will say this, Shawn. So now we're about to crack the top 30. Surprising but not surprising lack of international stuff on this list. And I say that because, again, Holiday exposed us to a lot. Like Tim and I did that episode. He exposed us to a lot of that stuff. So stuff like Playmo, stuff like Earth Tone 9, stuff like Lineage 77, who are around, stuff like 1 Minute Silence, right, is well regarded. Even some of the more proto, like industrial stuff, like Clawfinger and stuff. I mean, I was kind of surprised that none of that stuff made it.
It kind of showed our audience, which is that it's mostly US.
True.
A lot of the US guys don't know those guys. And then if you're in the UK and you were, listening to nu metal and you wanted to see Korn or you wanted to see Limp Bizkit or whoever, the opening act was probably Lineage 77 or Earth Tone 9 or all those bands. And then if that resonated with you, that was your act. 1 Minute Silence came to the US a few times touring with like Downset and Deftones and all that kind of stuff. So they tried. But I think it just didn't connect. I know that a lot of people a few people voted for 1 Minute Silence, but I guess they didn't cut into the free.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Shawn. Don't overthink it. Just answer. Downset, nu metal or not?
Downset. No.
I'm convinced they are. We're gonna have Shawn on the panel when we do the deeper dive.
I say that with a light note. And I saw Factory 81 and Relative Ash open for Downset.
Yep, I was there for that. Yep.
And in Poughkeepsie, New York, and then when Downset got on, and I bought that album that they toured on. I think
Check Your People.
Check Your People, and it was like, I was like, nope, this is kind of like E-Town Concrete rap hardcore. This was just kind of like da 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 da, like, and it's good. I like it, but I don't think it was. I think they did a good job at saying, like, we're not that. We'll vibe with it, but we're not that. Fit us with Hatebreed. We fit more with them.
Yeah. I'm just convinced. I'm convinced they're more of a nu metal band, but Pitch Shifter is not. And then they're another band that didn't make this list. I was quite surprised. Pitch Shifter, because that WWW album and Deviant and everything past that is definitively, I mean, as much as I really hate to say it, and J.S. Clayton, if you're listening, we want you to come to the show. It's pretty new. It's pretty new.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we get the next chunk. Any final thoughts, Tim, before I move us along?
No, I'm sorry. Somebody was texting me, and my whole train of thought got fucked up. I'm sorry. But I'm very ready for the next batch.
All right, so now we're going to go from 40 downwards. Starting at number 40, we have back-to-back Korn with Trash and Good God, one of their better songs. 38 is Il Nino, It Comes Around. 37 is Drowning Pool, Tear Away. Oh, wait, we did these already. Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Say, Jay, stop drinking. Jesus. All right, so 30 downwards. Here we go. Mushroom Head, Solitaire Unraveling.
Fuck yeah.
29 is Nookie. I don't need to say the band. 28 and 27 is both Korn with Here to Stay and Got the Life. 26 and 25, Slipknot back-to-back with Duality and Sick. 24 is When Worlds Collide by Powerman 5000. 23, 22, Linkin Park with Paper Cut and One Step Closer. 21 is Korn, Falling Away From Me. I would not have picked this Powerman 5000 song.
No, me either.
I would have picked something off the first album, because I mean the first album is kind of bonkers nu metal. But yeah,
I want to go out and say real quick though. When I first heard Got the Life, because when you hear the first two Korn records, you're like, man, them records are untouchable. Like, so like the songwriting's so good, and then when you get Follow the Leader and you get to songs like that, you're like, what happened? But then when I got older, that is one of their best songs. I think that is a fucking great song.
Yeah,
it's a disco beat. It's 4 on the floor.
Yeah.
And that's David. That's David sitting in a pocket and knowing his place. Yeah.
Yeah, the songwriting, they just got better on that record, and I didn't realize it till like 3 years ago. Like that's a fucking great song. But number 30 with Mushroom Head, Solitaire Unraveling, one of their best songs. That is a top 10 song for me in nu metal.
I was listening to that today because I was preparing for this, and I was like, I gotta listen to this twice.
Dude, the video, you ever see the video with the extended cut of it? That's so good. Jay, you need to fucking listen to Mushroomhead. I'm tired of telling you this.
You need to go on our fucking Spotify account and build me a playlist so I can just go on and listen to shit.
Like next
Enough with
time
your lame Apple Music stuff. I don't have Apple Music. You have the credentials. Go on to fucking Spotify.
Next time we go to a show, all you're listening to is Mushroomhead and 36 Crazy Fists. I'm gonna blast it. That's all you're listening to.
I'm gonna get out looking like Bill the Cat from Bloom County with the one big eye, my tongue's hanging out. I just won't be able to talk.
I guess we could say at this point that Slipknot is the most popular band in their whole Reddit.
I think so.
The whole subreddit. At this point, you have to say that, and Linkin Park is probably up there as well. But I mean, other than that, we're getting to the point now where I'm like, okay, every song I see on here, I get. So,
I don't think there's a band that can make a song like Nookie nowadays and get away with it, but Limp Bizkit does. Here to Stay, Got the Life, both good songs. Duality and Sick are both good songs. Paper Cut, these are all, now we're getting to the point where songsmanship really comes into play. But again, I'm going to strongly say Power Man 5000 is way too high, and you should not pick When Worlds Collide. It definitely should be Tokyo Vigilante #9 or Stand and 8 off the first album. Funnily enough, Shawn, I will tell you that when Tim and I were at the Stone Pony last night drinking in the parking lot, we saw the spot where there was the brawl between the singer from Fury of Five and the Coal Chamber Seven Dust guys, because I was at that show with my brother in 1997. So I said, Tim, over there where those parking meters are, that was the brawl. Yeah, funnily enough, the last time I had been in Asbury Park was to see Deftones, Limp Bizkit, and Will Haven at the Stone Pony in 1997.
Whoa, that sounds awesome.
I'm fucking old.
Yeah, you are.
And at that point, the Asbury Park looked like Beirut. And last night, Tim and I got there, and it looked like Wildwood. It was unreal.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, and I still laugh at when it was your birthday last week. I was like, oh, happy 49th. I still laugh at that shit.
Yo, you dick. He's like, yo, happy 49th birthday. I'm like, you dick. It's not 49, it's 48. Get it right.
That's great.
We got to do something for your 50th, man.
Yeah, right.
He's not really 50 till for 5-6 more years.
Yeah, what am I? I turned 44, but my 40th, I got a ton of shit from the wife. I probably shouldn't say this on air, because I chose to go to This Is Hardcore. And it was the year of Martyr AD, Disembodied, Eyes of the Lord, Jukai created a prison riot on the floor. Like it was nuts. So back to this list. But we can
say this though. Jay is probably the oldest member of r/Numetal.
There's one dude who's like in his 50s. I think there's one dude older than me.
Yeah, we'll have an episode, Old New Metal Heads.
I should post something like, yo, if you're 40 plus, please reply. If you have a fucking webcam, we will have you on the show. I want to pick your brain on what your thoughts are, because that would be a pretty interesting cross section. Yeah.
Do it.
Nookie makes sense. Duality Sick makes sense. Yeah, now we're getting to the hits, right? We're getting this stuff that everybody just inarguably can say, yeah, this was a new metal hit.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you asked, like, we have to come up with our list. It's like a lot of the songs you're seeing now, it's kind of like they're the ones that pop in your head like right away. You know what I mean? So this is where you're definitely getting to that point. So,
yeah. All right, so let's keep it going. So let's go to the next section would be 20 and below. So we're getting to the last two chunks. Number 20 is Kitty with Brackish. 19 is Static X with Push It. 18, Korn, Freak on a Leash. 17, really high for this band, Dry Kill Logic with Rot. 16 is Cold, Just Got Wicked. 15 is Loco by Coal Chamber. 14 and 13, back-to-back Sugar and Chop Suey. 12 is Papa Roach, Last Resort. And 11 is Mushroomhead, Sun Doesn't Rise. Wow. There are a lot of bands this high that I was not expecting.
I have to say, I loved seeing this part, because Mushroomhead, Sun Doesn't Rise, like, holy shit. If someone's listening to this in order and they're hitting that at that point, it's all bets are off. They're like, all right, I'm going to keep listening. And then Cold, I'm so glad Cold made it. That's the song. Perfect. You know, it's one of their heaviest. I don't know if it's a perfect representation of their sound, especially lately.
Lately, we're not going to talk about that, Shawn. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about lately.
Yeah,
Cole.
I know. But it'll take you to that album. And then Dracula Logic, one of their best songs. And it's so good. The Spice Girls thing and everything. It's just
yeah, right.
Shit.
Last Resort, Papa Roach obviously deserves a spot. This is the song that was going to get it. Push It, right, by Static X. Brackish by Kitty, right? They were an outlier. They were like 15, 16. I remember talking about last night on the way home. Yeah. They were like 15, 16 years old when they wrote those songs. They were kids.
Yeah, they had it's crazy when you're writing a record, you have to have your fucking mom or dad there just at the recording studio.
Mom, can you pick me up from the studio?
Yeah, Garth's gonna drive me home.
Loco made total sense right where it is. System of a Down, Sugar and Chop Suey, they're two most popular stuff.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that, and maybe I'm an asshole and didn't see it yet, but has Faith been in this yet?
Who?
Has Faith been in this yet?
Right now, Faith did not make it.
Nope.
Wow, man.
Voted on, yeah.
No, like nobody voted it?
I don't think so.
Holy shit. Man, is it because of the cover thing, or
I don't know. I just don't think
it's weird.
I
like
think
the people I'm sorry to call you off, but like the people in the crowd last night, like you would ask them, like in the tailgating crowd were like, oh, I can't wait to hear Faith, and it's like, really? Okay, but I'm just surprised it's not on this list at all, or nobody voted for it. It's even crazier to me.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, man.
Oh, me? Oh, no. One thing I was gonna say was that when we did our AMA with Kitty, like that was the first one that we did. A lot of people asked about like how people treated them back at the Ozfest and those tours and stuff like that. And we expected to hear some like horror stories, like, oh, they disrespected us. We were kids, like we were girls. And what like Morgan and Mercedes said were like, nope, they were the nicest guys. They treated us like sisters. Like that was a huge community. They treated us with respect. Like it was a blast. Like we felt like we were in summer camp. And I was like, that's so fucking good to hear. For a genre that gets a lot of
like abuse. Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. To hear that like those girls were just kind of like, nope. They were like our dads and brothers, and they really enjoyed us having around, and they rooted for us. It was great to hear.
Yeah, and I mean, not to bring like a sour moment to the podcast, but I don't think that happens in 2021. I don't think that happens at all. I think you got them dudes that are just
really,
like, yeah.
See, I think
you would get more of a like a sexualized thing with it.
I kind of think you'd get dudes who are more wary and kind of stay away, you know, because they don't. They're so worried, you know.
Yeah, like you don't want to say anything wrong these days.
Like, I can't even talk.
Yeah, like she. How old are you? She walks by. She'll walk by. One of them walk by, and you look completely the other way. You know.
Yeah.
It's.
We shouldn't even talk about it because people will take that.
To Shawn's point, I'm really glad that Cold made this list. Really surprised they were this high, but yeah, those first three albums, the self-titled, Year of the Spider, and what was the 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage?
Bleed on Stage, yeah.
Great albums. Dracula Logic definitely deserves that spot. Surprised Paper Tiger didn't make it because that is a fucking well-written song.
I told you.
Yo,
you know what's great about these and right here, Loco by Cold Chamber. I'm very surprised it's not in the top 10. It's the epitome of nu metal. Yeah, I think that song is one of them songs that people hear that gets them into. I think that's a gateway nu metal song. Like people hear it and they're just like hooked after that. You know what I mean? Especially when you see the video and stuff like that, because it's just nu metal all around. He's got like the weird faces going on, and like they got like the dance moves that like fucking Jonathan Davis was doing and all that stuff. So,
and you know that dude's like this tall, right?
Is he really?
Oh, Dez is like, if he's 5 feet, he's that tall. Yeah, he's tiny. He is tiny.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that. So before we go to the top 10, Tim, surprising bands that didn't make it.
I honestly, I'm like, I got to look through this list again.
Off the top of my head, I'm surprised that Motograder didn't make it.
Yeah,
At least one
go.
of their songs.
There you go.
Motograder.
That's hard. That like puts me on the spot to think about.
Who
Motograder's
else?
definitely a good one though.
There's some.
I'm surprised Orgy isn't on here.
Yeah, Orgy, right?
Yeah.
Orgy didn't make it at all. I think the thing that was tough was to watch was that because of the way we did the list is that people would vote for bands, but the song would be different. So you would get Motograder, but then they would choose a different song, and then it would just kind of shift back and forth. So they might not cut the top 100, but you had people had favorite songs.
Now here's a question for you though. So on the other one side, it says amount of votes per song. So just say like Mushroom Head Sun Doesn't Rise gets, the same amount as Drowning Pool Body. So like the order that you guys went in, was it just like, oh, okay, like they all got the same, I'm just gonna put it here, or like was there some kind of deciding factor for that?
Not really, no. This was just kind of like we let the algorithm take control, and we're like, let's keep it as it is, and then we'll post it. We tried not to adjust it as much as we could.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that.
So let me ask you guys an odd sort of question. Without the scat part in the middle of Freak on a Leash, is that song as big as it is?
No, that's the one. That's the part where people heard it on TRL and they lost their fucking minds.
Tim?
And and the bullet went.
Say that again.
That blew everyone's minds.
The scatting part in Freak on a Leash, the boom, without that part, does that song become as big as it does?
Hell no.
No.
Because it's something different, and it's something that pulls into people that don't listen to metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Shawn said, right? You're watching TRL and you're like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. Was that one of the songs that got retired?
That was
okay.
That was the first video that TRL ever had to retire.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Twist. It's like if you open that record without that song, I think a lot of people would have been like, oh, okay.
Dude, I lost my mind hearing that song the first time. I was like,
that's
what
I'm
is
saying.
This?
Like you hear that and you're like, what the hell is going on right here? And then you want to go to the second track,
And to give our younger listeners, all three of you, a bit of a flashback. That was when the internet was still nascent, right? There were people who were literally trying to translate that into like words. You're not, and they were like ball tongue, like that section of ball tongue. They tried to translate that into lyrics, not realizing it was scatting, which truth be told, the first song on the Lamb of God album, New American Gospel, is all scatting. He did not write lyrics to that. So if you listen to the original recording, it's all him scatting, and then they went back and they fit it into words.
Shit.
Which is, Randy's a fucking madman. I would hang out with that dude. All right, so here we go. So now we got the final top 10 songs from Reddit, the 100 essential nu metal songs. From number 10.
You want me to do a drum roll for you?
Yeah.
Can you hear it? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I can. Backwards. From number 10, we have Limp Bizkit Back to Back with Counterfeit and Break Stuff. Number 8 is Drowning Pool with Bodies. Number 7 is Disturbed with Down with the Sickness. Number 6 is Korn with Blind. Number 5, Deftones, My Own Summer, Shove It. Number 4 is Spineshank, New Disease. Wow. And number 2 and number 1, back to back.
Oh, you forgot one. Number 3.
Oh, number 3 is Slipknot, Wait and Bleed. Shit, sorry. Number 2 and number 1, Mudvayne, back to back, Death Blooms and Dig.
Crazy.
Number 1.
Did not see that coming.
Me either. I thought Blind was number 1.
Yeah.
Thing that kicked it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Blind, like before I seen the list when you guys posted, I was like, Blind's number 1. And then when
Blind
I seen
Faith
was number 1, I was like, what? But Death Blooms is a fucking incredible song.
It is, yeah. And what's funny about Blind is that when you get to this point too, is that it's not even songs that are like, it's not like all 9 votes where we kind of like, we could shuffle them and it could be anything. Like Blind has got 10 votes. the next one up is Deftones, 11 votes, and then Disturbed, Down with the Sickness is 9 votes. Blind was 6. There's no
argument.
Blind got number 6. How?
That's crazy.
Spineshank got over that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, how did Spineshank get up in the top 5?
That's a great track, though.
It's a great track, but like,
yeah.
Is there anything more iconic than the intro of Blind in nu metal?
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought it was automatically number 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. Break Stuff. The opening guitar from Break Stuff, the journey. If you played that right now, if you went to like an Eagles tailgate, right, Tim, and you just played that opening riff on repeat, there would be people throwing tables all over the place, losing their minds. I mean, that is, it's iconic, right?
I think the intro to One Step Closer, Down with the Sickness, Bodies, and Blind. Those are your intros right there.
Down with the Sickness.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy that Chutes and Ladders is not in this list,
right?
Yes.
That Do you want to talk
Chutes and Ladders?
Lines? Yeah.
No Faith. No. We talk about No Pitch Shifter. Not a lot of international stuff.
But Berber Ding number 1 is. That's great. I expected a top 10, but not 1.
Yeah.
Wait and Bleed though, number 3. That I think that's perfectly placed right there.
Yeah.
Tim, would you pick My Own Summer, or would you think Bored would have been the better?
So Bored, absolutely. I mean,
knock off Adrenaline. How about that?
Yeah, it's kind of
wild to me.
Yeah.
That's why I waited to look to number 10 or the 10 through 1 again, because I wanted to be like amazed at it. And like you guys said, Spineshank number 4 is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like it kind of like I kind of want you guys to do a poll on there. Like, what's your age bracket? Like,
they have. It's young. It's young, man.
Majority is young. Yeah.
So like,
you guys gotta link me at. Like, I need to get on there way more than I do. I just, God damn it, I'm so busy. I need to really get on there though.
I go on there more than I go on Facebook. The biggest age bracket is honestly 25 to 35 is the biggest age bracket.
Doesn't surprise me, but yeah, I just always wanted to see like how many 40 and above there were. So I'll have to go check that out.
There's a handful of us. Yeah. And again, I'm not the oldest. There's one guy who's older than me who comes out of the woodwork every once in a while, but
I mean, and to another point, and I know Shawn said it, but his Bodies is probably the song that any young kid will know nu metal wise. Like, oh, what's like your favorite nu metal song? Oh, it's Drowning Pool's Body. Like that has to be up there for the kids that were born like when the self-titled Korn record came out. You know what I mean? Like people still know that track. So it doesn't surprise me. It's
what didn't make the list that I'm kind of surprised, but it might be showing my age. Methods of Mayhem.
Oh, I know. Oh God.
Shawn's like, but
was there any chamber music songs?
Get Naked. Come on, Tim. Get Naked by Methods of Mayhem.
Terrible.
It's not terrible.
I would say maybe one person voted for Tyler's song. Maybe.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? No POD.
Oh shit!
I know.
No Southtown.
And no POD. Yeah, I think some people posted Southtown, but I only think it got 2 votes.
I was probably one. I was one of them.
The one song. What was Southtown. It's with the bass line. Is it Rock the Party? I think that song is fucking great.
Like Boom.
Yeah, Boom. Yeah, right. Boom. That. Do you want to talk about the wrestling? That was all over the place. Yeah.
And there's no Edema.
No Edema. Yeah.
There's no Alien Ant Farm in here.
I think Alien Ant Farm was one of those two where a lot of people argue about their nu metal aspect to it because it seems alt rock to a lot of other people.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the fact that Smooth Criminal's not on there is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's definitely crazy. Same thing with Orgy's Blue Monday. I mean, that's an iconic cover new metal song, you know.
Yeah.
With Filter, Tim?
I don't
Shawn,
consider them a new
thoughts?
band,
Filter?
but I love that band.
I love
I
them,
mean,
but-
it wouldn't have surprised me if you know Picture was on here or
Welcome to the
anything.
Fold.
Welcome to the Fold. Or,
Jurassitol, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's right in the cut right there.
yeah, that's a surprising one.
I'm trying to think who else missed it.
And I'm glad there's.
Yeah, Shawn brings up a good point. I'm curious to see what, like, so Tim and I were talking about yesterday in the car when we do our, he does the Ill Street. I come down every year and we do the best of the year. And it's a lot of our stuff it's going to be pulling in some new metalish stuff, right? Like Zone Zero and 13 and Cane Hill and all that stuff. It's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tetrarch. If your Tetrarch's not in your list for best of, you're crazy.
Mood Ring, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did they release the Purity remix album? Did those ever release that?
Yeah, that's out. Yeah.
Okay.
Gemini Syndrome's got new stuff coming out. Ruthless from Nonpoint. Oh my god, that song's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Lions of the Gate, the Christian's
it's Christian, right?
Yeah. Death Blooms, fuck everything. Holy cow.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Bison's new stuff.
I think that they hit us up, Jay. I think Bison hit us up.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. We have to look at our messages.
Didn't Blood Youth put out something this year too?
Yeah, there's 2 singles out. Yeah.
Two new singles. Yeah.
You said
Purity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mirrors is a fantastic song.
Their shit is really good.
Yeah.
AJ and who do we have? AJ and Jet, the nice guys. Like everybody we've had was really nice.
Yeah, there's that Omerta stuff. They have some new stuff coming out.
Yeah, I would love to get them on. They just, kind of MIA on the contact front.
Did you guys do an AMA with Taylor?
We did.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, we did name it them. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but we got the demo one coming out soon.
Nice. Yeah, one of them songs popped on yesterday when we were driving back, but me and Jay were too fucking pissed off to even care.
Yeah, we were fucking angry.
Yeah.
When I got back to his house and it said 53 minutes back to Underground Arts, I was like, a motherfucker.
Yeah, we were both kind of salty at that point. I mean, in hindsight, we probably just should have stayed in Asbury, got a fucking hotel room, and kept drinking because I was all over Reddit and there were people like, "Yo, if you're at the Limp Bizkit show and you got canceled and you're pissed,
I know.
Come to this bar. We're all hanging out drinking." So.
Yeah, we could have podcasted at the bar, set it up, put my mixer right on the fucking bar. Here you go.
Well, Shawn, we actually tried to set up. Once we realized that it wasn't happening, we tried to set up, and the cops were like, they were like, if the show was going on, you'd be fine. But being as there's no show, you're basically loitering, public intoxication, open containers. He's like, we're just going to ticket you. And we're like, okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
He came up to me and he was like, listen, if you pop another beer and I come back around, I'm arresting you. And I was like, nope, I'm good. See you later.
I'll sail off into the sunset. Thank you.
Yep. We'll get right back in the car and sit in shore traffic.
Yep. Tim turns to me and he goes, we're going to get out of here. I'm like, let's GPS the shortest way home.
How long was the drive home?
90 minutes.
Oh, no, it was 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Jesus.
No.
Yeah, it was. We left at 5:30. We got to your place at 7:42.
No. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I didn't
All right,
get back to Underground Arts till like 8:45.
let's wrap this one up so we can jaw jack. So some surprising misses, some surprising inclusions. I think this is a fairly good representation of the genre as a whole. I just thought of no Stained either, which is kind of interesting. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
no Mud Shovel, which is weird.
Kind of weird. Yeah, so on behalf of Tim, myself, I want to thank Shawn for coming on. This has been fun. Once again, we look forward to always having Shawn on whenever he publishes a letter. So then Tim and I can be yelled at being his gate creepers. So on behalf of Tim and myself, I want to thank Shawn for coming on. On behalf of Shawn, Tim, and myself, I want to thank all of you listeners, watchers, for turning in again. Find us at newbreed_podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. We have a Facebook group, and once again, it's kind of lit because it is we share a name with a Christian rapper from the UK named New Breed. So our listener base is kind of interesting on the Facebook group. It's good conversation. If you like what you heard, if you didn't like what you heard, you think we're great or we're terrible, email us at newbreedpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, I want to thank all of you watchers and listeners for tuning in. Until next time, this is New Breed saying cheers.